Any follow or any more questions? I always find it interesting the morning after a night game. Any questions?
How important is it to keep the team even keeled, coming off a tough loss, but then bouncing back with a very solid win?
I think that's one of the challenges each week is to, allow that 24-hour period, make corrections. You can lose a game once and win a game once, and that's it, and then kind of very quickly get going on the next week's opponent. We try to do that, and we talk oftentimes about eliminating the noise that oftentimes goes on outside with the amount of coverage we get.
Did we see a different Mark Ingram last night? Maybe a guy who was.
No, I think you saw a player that ran hard and had holes and did a lot of the things that I'm sure he felt he could do, and he got the right opportunity and the right number of touches. So I thought he played exceptionally well.
Is that a position where confidence can just breathe and just maybe can carry that forward into the next?
I think it's the opportunities. I think there's a lot that goes into it. I think there's good competition there, and I think that I was really proud of how he handled the time leading up to that, that game. With there's a lot of pressure that goes into playing, and I guess a little bit more for a player that was selected in the first round. I thought he handled that well. I thought he played well last night, and it was important to our team.
How much of the credit was his night and Pierre's night to the offensive line?
It all works together. That all kind of goes hand in hand.
Sean, the way you guys used Jimmy Graham, his snaps weren't a surprise, but it was kind of a surprise you didn't use him in the red zone. Is this?
No, we did.
As much, I guess.
Yeah, we have a certain plan, and going in, a lot of it was just predicated on the work week.
Is a lot of it trying to be precautionary in
No,
managing?
it was just predicated on the game plan, the work week.
How pleased were you with the defensive adjustments in the second half, holding Murray?
I thought that was when that game I think became one-dimensional. I think that really favored us early on. They had some big runs. I thought on the defensive side of the ball we contested the passing game well. We got enough pressure, and I thought it was a good team win. But I thought defensively, against a pretty good offense, we did a good job of contesting the throws and getting through that early portion of the game where they had some big runs. I thought that was important.
Just how impressive is holding a team to no third down conversions?
It's happened a few times. We thought in the game the turnover and the third down statistic would be very telling, and the third down statistic was. That's one of those things that doesn't come up that often. I said last night, you don't play in many games like that, and every once in a while you find yourself on the good end, and sometimes you find yourself once in a while on the bad end. You hope when your career's done you have more experiences on the good end, but that's a little unusual.
Sean, do you think Garrett just has to kick himself through this little funk he's in right now?
Do I what?
I think Garrett just has to kick himself through this little funk he's in right now.
Listen. He's a tough, smart guy, good coach. He'll know how to handle his team.
I meant Garrett Hartley, I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you meant Jason Garrett. I was like, yeah, like anything else, it's just the consistency. He's got leg strength. He started off the season very well, and last week hit a big one for us in New York. So it's just the consistency.
With Malcolm Jenkins out for a couple weeks now, and Roman being out, the younger safeties, Raphael Bush and Kenny, how well have they played? And kind of
Pretty well. I think pretty well. Kenny was very active last night, and Raphael the same way. I thought they handled yesterday real well, and we went kind of back and forth with Malcolm as to whether we'd play him or not. And but I thought overall they handled it, the various packages, and then Issa got snaps later in the game. So, there were a lot of guys playing.
Any chance of saying anything about Kenny Vaccaro before Wednesday and his leaving the game early?
No. Dumb question. Next one.
Sean, on that
screen pass at the end of the first half. You said something last night about you had talked about that a few plays earlier.
Well, it was just there was a conversation that went on with regards to a couple of plays, and there was one stoppage in play where that play had kind of come up in regards to possibly out of a different formation. We felt we were getting a lot of zone, and we knew we wanted to get to as a change up some screens, but that was Drew, and that was his anticipation. You know, he had that call, and you know, we get in one of those 2-minute drills. He's real good about kind of taking the drill, handling the clock, and then, you know, I'll beep in periodically, clock stops or third down or reminders or maybe, but the timing was perfect because you can do that if you have a timeout left, and you can if you don't. So Darren made a great run after the catch. It was well blocked, it was well executed.
That was a potential touchdown call. That wasn't a get closer for the field goal call.
I don't think we were thinking field goal. I mean, certainly we're thinking protect the ball. We're in field goal range, but I don't think that. I think we were thinking we've got a timeout. I know Drew was thinking let's score. I know we were thinking the same thing.
Y'all been excellent at screen pass for years. I think people look at Pierre and how well he runs in Darren, but how much of that is the line and how athletic they are getting up front?
I think a lot of it times up with the first level. How do you block these linebackers in the first level? And the ones that are more difficult are the man-to-man teams where the linebacker kind of runs with the back and beats the first guy out, beats the guard or beats the center. I think our players, though, back to your point about the runner and the lineman, our players have a good feel for the timing of it. I think because we are somewhat effective throwing the football, we're rushed a certain way, and it's a good element, much like a draw, to help slow people down. But there's a lot that goes into having a good screen pass, and sometimes you're just getting the right defensive look. But the timing of the linemen and the backs are important, and the quarterback.
Sean, Drew always talks about if we can get that first down, it gets us into the rhythm. Are you ever surprised when you look back and think he's hit 19 in a row, or when's the last time we had an incompletion? You ever think about things like that, or even in the course of the game?
No, not really. And until you just said that, I mean, I didn't know if you were referencing the first down in a 2-minute drive or the first down in a game.
Yeah, he was talking in general. He's told that many times.
Yeah,
But,
just to get started.
yeah.
I thought we had a good start early and ended up having to punt the football. Fortunately, we didn't have to punt a lot after that. I thought he played with real good rhythm. I thought his decision-making was outstanding. And I think, last night was a great example of his preparation and, getting into a game against his own defense and knowing right where he wanted to go. We got some pressure from them in the first half, and a lot of it came on first down. Thought we handled that pretty good and got the ball out. The check downs, the underneath throws, all of it. He was really on.
Sean, I think even Tony Romo said something to the effect of Dez was double teamed the whole night, but it looked to me like Keenan Lewis was in single coverage a good bit. Were there a lot of times?
No, I would say back and forth. It was a little bit of a cat and mouse game. There was safety help over Dez. I don't know if you'd give a certain percentage, and then yet there were times where, that safety came down to involve himself in the running game. But I thought Keenan, who drew the matchup, regardless of where Dez went, did a real good job.